Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this afternoon's ACAA men's basketball game. Home opener for the Holland College Hurricanes, going up against the visiting St. Thomas Tommies, coming to you live here from the McMillan Center for Community Engagement at Holland College in downtown Charlottetown, PEI. Thank you for choosing to spend some of your Saturday afternoon with us as we get set to introduce the starting lineups here for both teams. A lot of star power in this game. A lot of players leading or near the top of the leaderboard in a lot of different categories as far as the ACAA goes. We'll get into those as the game goes on. Should be an interesting matchup here today. St. Thomas 4-0 coming in. Holland 1-3. They've lost 2 in a row. And St. Thomas outscoring their opponents 422 to 311 in their 4 wins so far this season. Looking to keep that momentum going. And they win the jump ball and will take the first possession here. Marcus Wilson with the jump shot off the back of the rim. Rebounded there by Darrell Bedminster. Up ahead quickly to Spencer Rossiter. A couple of second-year Hurricanes there as Rossiter misses that one. Evan Villain kicks it over. That's Vincent Littleton with it now. Villain into the middle. That's Jevin Eddy. Down low for Marcus Wilson. Wilson goes up with it. Can't get the shot to drop. And it's another defensive rebound for the Hurricanes in the early stages here. Still in the first minute of the first quarter. Rossiter directing traffic. Big Owen Parsons down low for Jareel Tomlinson. 6'8" rookie from Ontario. Tomlinson can't get the shot to go, and it's Marcus Wilson back the other way for St. Thomas. Look out, long three-point shot there. Misses. That was CJ Hansen with the miss. Mentioned a lot of talent in this game. 4 of the top 5 shooters are in this game as far as percent goes. CJ Hansen, who just missed that three-point shot, he's first. He's shooting at 70% in the first 4 games of the season. But that's Jareel Tomlinson in on Evan Villain. Can't get the shot to go. And teams struggling to find the basket early on here. Wilson on the board first for the Tommies. Marcus Wilson, 3rd in the ACAA in points per game. He's averaging 19 points in 4 wins for the Tommies so far. And Zach Dawkins with it now. He's a superstar in the making for the Hurricanes. Misses that shot, and it's off Tomlinson and out. Dawkins 4th in the ACAA with 18.8 points per game, so right behind Wilson. So 2 of the top scorers will be going toe-to-toe here today. Eddie with it, leaves it for Evan Villain. Evan Villain leaves it into the corner for Littleton. Littleton, 3-point shot, gets it to go. And the Tommies open up a 5-point lead early on. Bedminster running point for the Canes, leaves it for Dawkins. Finds a lane, has Rossiter down low, gets it to him. Good composure there by Rossiter. Looks like he was about to lose the handle on it, but got it back and put it home for the Hurricanes' first points of their home schedule. Evan Villain on the baseline. In on Parsons, can't get the shot to go, and Parsons brings the rebound in. That's Rossiter, harassed there by Littleton. Does well to get the ball to Parsons. Down low for Jareel Tomlinson. Waits out CJ Hansen. And cuts the lead to 1. Littleton, here's CJ Hansen. No look pass into the corner for Wilson. Down low for Evan Villain. Across for Hansen. Hansen, 3-point shot goes up. And he's 0 for 2 from beyond the arc today. And Wilson there for the offensive rebound, gets the hoop and the harm. It's a primarily New Brunswick roster for St. Thomas. Marcus Wilson from Miramichi. Mentioned CJ Hansen's name a couple times. He's from Manchester, England. But it's Marcus Wilson, Tommy's leading scorer, who's doing work offensively here in the opening stages of the Hurricanes' home opener. Rossiter, he really impressed last year. Came off the bench in most of the Hurricanes games, but was definitely an impact player. Jareel Tomlinson from the baseline misses. Owen Parsons couldn't get there in time, and it's Tommy's ball. Mentioned Spencer Rossiter, second year with the Hurricanes. He's from Summerside. Listed as a fourth-year player. I believe he had some AUS experience before coming to Holland College. It's certainly important, but miscommunication there with Eddie and Littleton, and now it's Dawkins back the other way. Dawkins in on Villain, gets the friendly hometown roll. And the deficit is now 2 for the Hurricanes, but they need to stop defensively. Here's Evan Villain, kicks it to Littleton. Back up top, Jevin Eddy for 3 off the front of the rim. Tomlinson, the only one there to collect the rebound. Now it's Bedminster looking to answer for Holland College. Dawkins, long range 2. And that will tie the game up with a timeout, I believe, being called by St. Thomas. So a slow start here as teams struggled to find their footing in the opening minute and change, but frantic pace has picked up with the score now 8-8. Lots of players from both teams averaging double digits in points. Mentioned Evan Villain a couple times on the last possession. He's a fifth-year player. He's only 6'3", but plays a lot taller. He's probably the shortest post player you'll find in the ACAA, but certainly has a big impact down low on both ends of the court for the Tommies. I believe there's going to be one substitution made here. Vincent Littleton appears to be in a bit of discomfort with his right hand. And I believe it will be Caleb Schulten coming into the game for him. We also have River Lands coming into the game, as well as Jack Gimby. No changes for the Holland College lineup coming out of the timeout. That's Marcus Wilson. Over to Schulten. River lands with it now. Back up to Wilson. Down low for Villain. Harassed there by a couple of Hurricanes defenders. Gets it out to Schulten. 3-point shot off the rim. Rebounded there by Villain. He goes up with it. Can't even get a shot off as Rossiter took it out of his hands and turns it over just as he crosses half court to Marcus Wilson. Not the guy you want to turn it over to, the leading scorer. Thought about a three-pointer. Now he'll swing it over. Rossiter does well to get a hand on that pass and deflect it out of harm's way, which will allow the Hurricanes defense to reset. Nice quick give there to River Lands, and he finds Villain, who puts it home to give the Tommies the lead once again. Hurricanes have yet to lead in the first half of the first quarter. Rossiter for Dawkins. Parsons didn't see Wilson behind him, and now it's Rossiter for 3, and Spencer Rossiter gives the Hurricanes the lead. Well, he's a guy last year, when he gets hot, it's tough to stop him. He has the ability to shoot from beyond the arc, as he proved there. And a miscommunication there as Schulten throws it away. Second-year player from Fredericton. Then we get our first substitution of the game for Holland College. It's Jason Tomlinson into the game. So a lot of size on the court right now for Holland College, with Tomlinson and Tomlinson, both measuring in at 6'8". Rossiter stripped there by Scholten. Makes up for his turnover a moment ago, and now Villain in on Jason Tomlinson. Villain underhand, can't get it to go. Good putback by Marcus Wilson. Proving to the fans early on that he is, in fact, a top player atop the scoring leaderboard. Rossiter, another three. That misses. Tomlinson knocks it away and out of bounds. 4.5 minutes left. Tommies with a 1-point lead. Here in first quarter action here in Charlottetown. Home opener for the Hurricanes. Evan Villain bumping his way in, and here's Dawkins with the rebound off the miss. Dawkins gets it to Jason Tomlinson. Knocked away out of bounds. Didn't see which Tommy's player got a hand on it, but as is the case underneath the hoop, Evan Villain is close by. It's Khalil Smith coming into the game for Rossiter to give him a break. Rossiter averaging 29 minutes. Second to Dawkins is 30 as that shot misses, and the Tommies look to extend their lead. They've led by as much as 5. Lance, quick change of direction on Dawkins. Looking for someone, spins, shoots, misses. And Dawkins there to take the rebound. Dawkins so quick with the ball in his hands. Kicks it out, that's Jareel Tomlinson, runs the baseline down low for Dawkins. Looked like Riverlands got a hand on it, but Dawkins gets it to go anyway. And gives the lead right back to the Hurricanes. Taken away there by Dawkins. That was Jack Gimby with it, and a travel called on Darrell Bedminster. Might have been on Dawkins, might have been before he got the pass off to Bedminster, and now Owen Parsons will check back in. Veteran player Owen Parsons. As that is Riverlands for 3. Dawkins with it now, looking down low for Parsons. Evan Villain undaunted by the height mismatch. Draws the foul though. Villain gives up 5 inches, according to the program, to Parsons, but as I said, one of the better post players in the ACAA, despite being one of the smallest. Jevin Eddy and CJ Hansen back into the game for the Tommies now as Owen Parsons, nothing but net on his first free throw. And Parsons goes 2 for 2. And it's a tie game here, 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Teams going back and forth here in the last couple of minutes. It's Eddy looking down low, miscommunication with Hansen. And now here's Dawkins taking the cross-court pass. Goes up to the hoop, draws the foul. And Dawkins, the senior player from Edmonton, will go to the line to shoot 2. And Dawkins good on his first attempt to regain the lead for Holland College. And Dawkins 2 for 2. Holland College only shooting 67% from the free throw line coming into this one, but They've done well to capitalize on those opportunities here so far this afternoon. Staking them to a 2-point lead. Lance hit a big three a moment ago. Thought about another one. Now it's Scholten going up for three. Nothing but net for Caleb Scholten. As we go back and forth with the lead once again. This is Nehemiah Arnold, a rookie from Saskatoon. Leaves it for Rossiter. Rossiter now looking to get around Scholten. Finds Smith for a three off the front of the rim, and Scholten collects the rebound. Back the other way, looking for Eddie, but Khalil Smith did well to get his hand in the passing lane. Scholten, that's a long-range two, misses. And down one, Rossiter will bring the ball back up the court for Holland College. Runs into Scholten. And I was going to say, it didn't look like he had his feet planted. He doesn't like the call, but it is a block charged to Caleb Scholten. Arnold inbounds. That's Jason Tomlinson. Gets it back to Arnold, but did not establish himself in bounds, I think is going to be what the call is. Looked like he jumped from out of bounds to field the pass. Late substitution here for St. Thomas. Under 2 minutes to go here. That's Zach Duell into the game for Marcus Wilson. Again, the Tommies' leading scorer coming into this one. Here's Jevin Eddy, watched by Owen Parsons. Now Eddy gets in there, goes up with it, off the backboard, misses. Gets his rebound, though, as Tomlinson jumped over it. And Parsons looked like he was knocked out of hands. Very dangerous play there for the Hurricanes. But they come out of it unscathed. Now here's Khalil Smith, goes up with it, and they're going to say, I think he stepped on the end line. So the Tommies will take possession. Minute 20 and counting left here in the first quarter. Good pace as we've gone through the last few minutes here. Here's Jevin Eddy with it. Loses the dribble now, gets it back to River Lands. Contested three for Lands off the front of the rim, and Parsons takes the rebound, dishes it to Arnold. Behind the back, finds Smith now. Khalil Smith up top for Parsons. Parsons stepped in front of Rossiter to take that pass. Now Rossiter has it. Looking to cross over Scholten. Fadeaway shot by Rossiter off the back of the rim. And it's CJ Hansen with the rebound. He's back quickly the other way. Loses the handle on it. Punched away by Jason Tomlinson. And we're going to get a jump ball as the call on the court. Holland College will take possession. 33 seconds left, so perhaps a possession each to go here in the first quarter. Lots of pressure by St. Thomas, so that's going to be a foul called on Zach Duell. Mentioned lots of pressure on that possession. And that's the bonus in effect now, so tough break there for St. Thomas, but it will be Darrell Bedminster to go to the line to shoot two. Down one, so an opportunity to take the lead here late in the first quarter. Bedminster short on the first attempt. And makes good on the second one. Ties the game up, though, so St. Thomas can take the lead on their possession here. Can regain the lead. Nice pass down low to Duel. Quick pass up top to Scholten. Good balance by Duel on the end line. Blocked by Khalil Smith. Now it's Duel for three. Off the rim, off the backboard, and a Rossiter away with it for the Canes. 10 seconds to go in the quarter. Holland College can take the lead here on the final possession of the quarter. Bedminster loses the handle on it, and St. Thomas comes away with it, and they'll just kill the clock. Lands had it on his backside in the defensive zone, so just kills the clock. And we will be tied 18-18 at the end of one quarter. Again, the 1-3 Hurricanes in their home opener against the currently undefeated St. Thomas Tommies. Tied at 18 here at the end of 10 minutes. We'll step aside for a quick minute. Rejoin you momentarily as we get set to start the second quarter of action here in Charlottetown. Just getting set for the second quarter of play here in Charlottetown. Again, tied at 18. ACAA men's basketball action between the visiting St. Thomas Tommies coming into this one at 4-0. And the 1-3 Holland College Hurricanes in their home opener. And I mentioned it a handful of times during the women's game. It's an interesting dynamic to the schedule this year. This being the home opener for the Hurricanes. Only one more home game before Christmas, and then it's a home-heavy back half of the schedule for the Canes, which could be favorable to them as Darrell Bedminster takes the charge. 6'5" Jevin Eddy on 5'10". I think a very generous 5'10", Darrell Bedminster. So a lot of size advantage there for St. Thomas, but Bedminster, not one who's seemed intimidated by size in his season and a bit of play here as a Hurricane. Rossiter muscles his way into the middle of the court, misses the shot though, and Evan Lane collects the rebound. Now that's Jevin Eddy looking to make up for the charge on the last possession, draws the foul that time. That's Jason Tomlinson called for the shooting foul. Pair of subs coming in for the Hurricanes. A couple of starters in Owen Parsons and Jareel Tomlinson. Eddy makes the first shot, so that gives St. Thomas the lead once again. Rims out on the second attempt, and Parsons gives the rebound quickly to Dawkins. Up ahead to Rossiter. Gets in tight, maybe too tight for that layup attempt. And that will be off either CJ Hansen or Jevin Eddy. Couldn't really see which one. And Holland College will keep possession here. Bounce pass on the inbound to Parsons. He misses. And it is Jevin Eddy who comes away with it. CJ Hansen gets it down low for Eddie. Spins, shoots, misses. Big rebound there by Evan Villain and puts it right off the backboard. And that's off Jareel Tomlinson and out. And now St. Thomas with a second chance possession here. Hansen thought about a three, gets around Parsons, and they're going to call a block that time on Bedminster. Drew the charge early in the quarter, but it's a block that time. Warning issued to the Holland College bench. Not sure what the discussion was for there between the officials, but Jev and Eddie, nice feed there from CJ Hansen. Eddie with a nice reverse layup to give a 3-point cushion to the Tommies. Nice feed down low by Parsons to Jareel Tomlinson. Ends up back out for Bedminster. Bedminster, floater shot can't go. Now it's Marcus Wilson back the other way for the Tommies. And there's CJ Hansen with it now. Gets it back to Eddie. Eddie from the corner of the key off the back of the rim. And Parsons calmly collects the rebound. Quickly up ahead, Bedminster goes for Dawkins. Dawkins in traffic. Handles it over to Bedminster. Right back to Dawkins. Over to the side for Rossiter. Parsons with it now. Gets it back to Bedminster. 5 on the shot clock. Need a shot attempt here quickly, and we're going to get a foul. They're going to say that's a shooting foul. It looked like the whistle went before Bedminster started the shooting motion. But they're going to rule it a shooting foul. Bedminster to the line for 2, just over 2 minutes into the second quarter. Long on the first attempt is Bedminster. Nothing but net for the second free throw for Bedminster. Now it's Marcus Wilson looking to answer for the Tommies. Hansen wanted to get it to Wilson. Now dishes it up. Nice alley-oop layup. Hansen and Eddie on the same page here in this second quarter. Seen that connection a couple of times here. Now here's Jareel Tomlinson, runs the baseline on Villain. Villain gets a hand on the shot, but Parsons there for the rebound cleanup opportunity. Wilson into the corner for Hansen. Hansen for Eddie. Into the middle for Villain. Quick release on the shot from a couple of feet inside the free throw line. And Holland College will take a timeout here. Looking to stem the tide as St. Thomas has picked up the pace offensively. Again, in large part thanks to Jevin Eddy and CJ Hansen. Seen that connection in tight. Relatively quiet last few minutes for Marcus Wilson. Again, coming into this game as the leading scorer for St. Thomas. Third in the conference, but St. Thomas has 5 players averaging double-digit points per game. Hurricanes have 3. Worth mentioning, one of those 5 for St. Thomas is Vincent Littleton, who looks like he's got an ice pack on that right hand right now. So left this one early on, and then going to the bench in some discomfort. So not sure if we will see him again this afternoon. Hurricanes will have possession coming out of the timeout. Bedminster gets it ahead for Dawkins. Dawkins quickly over half court, drives the lane. Hard pass in there for Parsons. That had some mustard on it. Parsons missed the layup attempt. But now back the other way, it is Evan Villain. Contact there from Bedminster. No call either way. Looked like it was incidental, but basket goes for the Tommies. They now have a 6-point lead. Believe that's their biggest of the game. It's been a close fought match as Bedminster for three. Cuts that lead in half. Just like that. Marcus Wilson now across the court to Schulten. Schulten, long range three. Had just a little too much on it, and it's Rossiter back the other way for the Hurricanes. Rossiter looking to set up the offense, gives it to Bedminster, right back to Rossiter. Rossiter now for three, just off the mark. And Rossiter giveaway there, and that will be St. Thomas ball. Rossiter got in the passing lane, and then it hit the official and went out of bounds. Bunch of subs coming in for Holland College. Getting our first look at Marteo Bundy in number 11 there, watching CJ Hansen. Wilson over to Hansen. Hansen cuts into the middle. Dish for Villain, and I think that was Tomlinson who got a hand in there. Pass by Smith too far for Dawkins. Bundy only averaging about 4 minutes a game coming into this one. Looked like that pass hit someone's foot. Villain wanted a call, none incoming. And it's Khalil Smith, misses the layup. Villain secures the rebound for the Tommies, gets it ahead to Schulten. Schulten, CJ Hansen for three, just short, struggling to find his groove from beyond the arc. One of the leading three-point shooters in the conference with CJ Hansen coming into this one. Smith into the corner for Dawkins. Dawkins stops and shoots off the back of the rim, looking for a foul. Doesn't get one, and now it's Villain back the other way. Approaching the halfway mark of the second quarter. Good hustle by Eddie to get that pass back after it bounced off a couple of defenders. Hansen to Schulten. And good job by Dawkins to get a hand on that pass. Villain was wide open under the net. And the Canes will take possession at the halfway mark of the second quarter. Bedminster in, and that's an offensive foul on Darrell Bedminster. Drew a charge to open the quarter, now charged with one here at the halfway mark. Tommies continue to lead by 3. Villain now. That's Marcus Wilson for 3, and he's dangerous. Second in the league in three-point shooting coming in. Extends the lead for the Tommies. Dawkins now up top. Bedminster 4-3, long range 3. Had the range, but just off target, and Jason Tomlinson can't handle the rebound. It's Tommy's ball. Nehemiah Arnold back into the game. Schulten harassed there by Arnold. You're going to call a foul on that. Holland at 4 fouls in the quarter now. Screen set there by Hansen. Wilson coming in, shields the ball, gets the hoop and the harm. And the Tommies' leading scorer starting to find his groove now. Mentioned a few minutes ago, he was relatively quiet start to the game, but starting to pick it up now is Marcus Wilson. Chance to complete the three-point play and make it a 9-point game if he does. Already the Tommies' biggest lead they've had this afternoon. And their leading scorer makes no mistake on the free throw, makes it a 9-point lead. Marcus Wilson, 87% from the free throw line coming in. I mean, just listen to these shooting percentages for Wilson. 58.7% overall, 56% from beyond the arc, and 87% from the free throw line. Doesn't miss often, does Marcus Wilson. But it's Holland College with the ball now. Dawkins in off the front of the rim. CJ Hansen now fakes out a couple of defenders. Now gets it up ahead for Wilson. No look pass for Eddie. I don't think he was expecting it. And Rossiter with another steal for the Hurricanes. Finds a lane, takes it in, misses, gets his own rebound, and gets the putback attempt for Rossiter. And St. Thomas will call a timeout after the basket. They will have a 7-point lead. 3:42 left before halftime. Spencer Rossiter, again, he's missed a couple of three-point shots and long-range shots in this game, but did well to follow the action there, follow his own shot. Coming out of the timeout, 3:42 left before halftime. 4-0 St. Thomas with a 7-point lead over 1-3 Holland College. Again, only the first of 2 home games for the Hurricanes before the Christmas break. Weird quirk with the schedule. A lot of the games after Christmas are back-to-back games in the same location. Hansen now over to Schulten. Schulten into the corner for Wilson. Another three-point shot. Just long. And they're going to say that's off Jevin Eddy and out of bounds. Dawkins takes the inbound from Tomlinson. Now Nehemiah Arnold running point. Into the corner for Rossiter. Spencer Rossiter, lots of experience. And Rossiter, nice step back fadeaway too. Cuts the deficit to 5. Wilson maybe thought about a 3, gets it back to CJ Hansen. He'll take a long 3-point shot, and CJ Hansen fired up about that one as it gives the Tommies another 8-point lead inside 3 minutes before halftime. Rossiter gets it to Arnold, back to Rossiter. Directing traffic, down low for Parsons. Good battle there between Parsons and Eddy. That's a matchup in the paint to watch for as this game develops. Riverlands has 1 3-pointer in this game, misses that one. Dawkins will come away with it. Dawkins behind the back on Wilson. Draws the foul, and he'll go to the line for 2. Foul called on Marcus Wilson. His second foul of the game, so maybe something to keep an eye on if the Tommies decide to keep him in or not. Looks like head coach John Hickey is going to. And Dawkins goes 2 for 2 from the line, so the Tommy's lead is now 6. Two minutes and change before halftime. Wilson with it. Kicks it over to River Lands. Lands now. Floating jump shot doesn't go, and Parsons with the rebound. Hurricanes' leading rebounder coming into this one is Parsons, I believe. And Rossiter into the corner for Arnold. Mishandles the pass. A little too hot to handle for Arnold, and it's an unforced error by the Hurricanes. Tommies can extend their lead on this possession in the late stages of the first half. Giovanetti goes up with it, draws the foul. And Giovanetti will go to the line for two. Didn't get a chance to see who it was. They're going to call it on Zach Dawkins. Worth noting, the Tommies' smallest margin of victory coming into this game. 15 points, that their season opener against Mount St. Vincent. As Hansen goes 2 for 2 to make it an 8-point, Tommies lead. Dawkins from long range, doesn't get it to go, and Eddie with it now. Marcus Wilson with a minute and a half to go. That pass deflected by Dawkins and out. Mentioned a minute ago the Tommies wins. They opened the season with a 108-93 victory against Mount St. Vincent, 115-89 against Kings, 93-61 against Crandall, their lowest offensive output of the season, before a 106-68 win at Mount A. Another foul called there. Not sure who it's on. It's on Nehemiah Arnold. And a timeout called by Holland College. 1:15 to go before halftime. Again, 93 points so far, the lowest offensive output that St. Thomas has had this season. On pace to fall well short of that right now, with only 38 points through the first almost 19 minutes of this one. Holland opened their season with a narrow 1-point loss at Crandall before beating Mount A in Sackville 84-81. Trip to Halifax to visit Mount St. Vincent saw them come out on the wrong side of a 79-61 game, and last weekend at UNBSJ they fell 86-65. UNBSJ also sitting at 4-0. Interesting, the ACAA very New Brunswick heavy at the top right now. The 4 New Brunswick-based teams are sitting 1 through 4 in the standings. But I mentioned the second half of the season after Christmas for Holland College is a very home-heavy schedule. Marcus Wilson at the free throw line. Mentioned he's shooting 87% from the line coming in. I don't think he's missed from there yet. Wilson goes 2 for 2 once again. Restores that double-digit lead for the Tommies, and that's a foul on Zach Duell. He doesn't like the call, but it certainly seemed like he initiated a good amount of contact on Zach Dawkins there. Dawkins down low for Jareel Tomlinson. Nice reverse layup to cut into the deficit as we hit 1 minute before halftime. Marcus Wilson cuts to the middle. Long range two off the front of the rim. Rebound bounces around. Rossiter corrals it. And quickly back the other way he goes. Here's Zach Dawkins for three. And the deficit is now 5. Hurricanes will look to get another stop here with under 40 to go before halftime. The pass, miscommunication there. Hansen and Duell not on the same page. 33 seconds left, maybe one possession each. Arnold bringing it ahead for the Canes. Rossiter, he'll slow things down a little. Leaves it for Dawkins. About a 7-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Dawkins drives the lane, gets a shot up, bounces around the rim and doesn't fall. And now it's quickly Wilson back the other way. Wilson deposits that layup home to give it a 7-point lead for the Tommies. Rossiter for three at the buzzer, off the rim. Could have been a big momentum changer going into the half there, but still lots of time, lots of basketball left to play here as we hit halftime, and St. Thomas clinging to a 7-point lead as we reach the midway break. We'll step aside for a few minutes, rejoin you in about 15 minutes time for the second half of action here in Charlottetown. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Getting set for the second half to start here. St. Thomas with a 42-35 halftime lead over the hometown Holland College Hurricanes in their home opener. Reminder that there are both men's and women's volleyball games coming up later on this evening, so stay tuned to the college YouTube page, Holland College YouTube page for those. Spencer Rossiter looking to get things started, and does with a quick three. Second three-pointer of the game for Rossiter. And here's Marcus Wilson. Game high 17 points for Wilson in the first half for Marcus Wilson. And starts off with a hoop and a harm early here. So 19 points right now in the game. That's right on his season average. Given this pace, I would expect him to blow past his average here this afternoon. And Wilson hits 20 points in the game now with that free throw. Wasting no time to make his impact here in the second half. Rossiter, who's got 12 points on the game now. Nice bounce pass for Bedminster. And on Jevin Eddy, big block there. And it's off Bedminster and out. Worth noting as well in the first half, Zach Dawkins, 13 points. And Owen Parsons, a game-high 8 rebounds for Holland College, CJ Hansen looking for something. Now gets it back to Wilson. It's off his hand. And he will take the backcourt violation rather than give Jarrell Tomlinson a clean break. Bedminster directing traffic. Bounce pass for Dawkins. Dawkins now. Going to cross over Caleb Scholten. Three-point shot by Dawkins goes up. That misses. A couple of three-point attempts early by the Hurricanes. Wonder if that was their halftime message. Jevin Eddy all alone underneath the basket. Pretty tight first half of action. A lot of the statistics would indicate that this is a decently close game. And Owen Parsons with the hoop and harm there with his 9th rebound of the game. And Parsons with a three-point play of his own. It's a 7-point game once again, so back and forth we go. Wilson over to Scholten. Bounce pass for Eddy. And they're going to call a foul there on Spencer Rossiter. Inbound there for Wilson. Tight ropes the sideline. Gets it back for Jevin Eddy. Scholten with it now. Back to Eddy. Down low for Evan Villain. Kicks it out to Wilson. Can't beat the shot clock, though, and it's a shot clock violation. You can see Marcus Wilson say he couldn't hear the countdown from the bench. Again, the bench on the far corner from where he was, and he was right in front of the Holland College football team making all the noise. Six-point game. Jarrell Tomlinson lost the handle on it, gets it back, and called for the travel. Looked like that plant foot just came off the ground enough to get the call. Caleb Scholten over to Wilson. Wilson. CJ Hansen down low for Eddy. Kicks it out to the corner. Caleb Scholten, corner three, doesn't go. Rebound bounces around, and it's big CJ Hansen who corrals it. Eddy has it taken away from him by Rossiter. He looks to strike right away. Goes up with the layup, and Spencer Rossiter up to 15 points now in the game. And it's a 4-point St. Thomas lead. No argument from Darrell Bedminster on that foul call. He's usually one quick to identify his foul mistakes. Hansen into the paint at the free throw line. Down low, looking for Eddie again. They're on the same page a lot in the second quarter. And the rebound bounced around. It looked like it was off Rossiter and out. Good hustle to try and get there, though. Eddie now looking for someone. Uses his dribble. Three-point shot. CJ Hansen falls a little short. Rebound bounces around to Jareel Tomlinson up ahead for Rossiter. On Wilson, good battle between those two players. Nice rebound by Jareel Tomlinson. Made that one look so easy. Cleaning up the garbage on the rebound attempt. And a turnover forced there by the Hurricanes defensively. Now only trailing by 2. Bedminster over to Dawkins, looking for Parsons. Parsons from the top of the key, off the rim. And that's Caleb Scholten for 3. He's struggled to find his groove from beyond the arc today. Dawkins, an awkward layup attempt there. It didn't even look like he got a shot away. Now Wilson. Parsons gets a hand on that, so the team's exchanging turnovers here. As we get close to the midway point of the third quarter, Rossiter another 3. Boy, Rossiter wastes no time. He's got such a quick release sometimes on those. CJ Hansen, he can't get the layup to drop. And Rossiter back the other way on Villain. Rossiter behind the back now. He'll slow things down, direct some traffic. Try and set something up offensively. Dawkins takes the pass, changes direction, jump shot. Zach Dawkins ties this game up. Getting close to the 5-minute mark of the third quarter. We're all tied up here. St. Thomas looking for some answers offensively. Caleb Scholten thought about another 3 attempts. Now gets it down low to Jevin Eddy, and that might be just what the doctor ordered for St. Thomas. We've seen that a few times in this game. Jevin Eddy just doing work down low. As the Tommies quickly retake the lead. But now it's Rossiter back over to Tomlinson. Tomlinson spins around Hansen. Can't get a shot away, and it's Hansen back the other way for the Tommies. Looking to get around Bedminster. And it is a charge going to be called. 2 officials looked like they were going to call fouls. I was waiting to see which one was going to make the signal first. And it is a charge assessed to CJ Hansen. Second one of those Bedminster's taken. So the Hurricanes with another good stop defensively, starting to rack those up here in the third quarter. Dawkins, nice pass down low, but Jason Tomlinson unable to handle it. Great effort to get it back to Bedminster, though. Now Bedminster drives the lane. Another feed just out of the reach of Tomlinson. It's 5 or 6 times now in this game that there's been a pass just out of the reach of Jason Tomlinson. Zach Duell back into the game for the Tommies. Gets it up over the top of Tomlinson to Marcus Wilson. Right back over to Duell. Duell for Wilson. Another 3-point shot for Marcus Wilson. Mentioned he's one of the best shooters and 3-point shooters in the conference coming in. Putting it on display here. There's a 3-point shot from Jesse Dalrymple. First time today we've said his name. And it cuts significantly into that lead. Now just a 2-point game once again. Duel into the corner. 3-point shot there from Jack Gimby as the team's starting to look for all of the shots beyond the arc. Here's another one from Bedminster off the rim. Gimby with the rebound quickly to Marcus Wilson. Looked like he thought about another three, but gets it over to Duel. 3-point shot well off the mark. And the air ball collected by Bedminster. Bedminster to Dawkins. Dawkins, 3-point shot. Zach Dawkins off the back of the rim. Rebounded easily by River Lands. And Wilson now back the other way. Drives the lane, kicks it out. Here's Gimby for three. Again, the team's looking to just try and hit everything from beyond the arc right now. And Bedminster maybe doing the right thing and just looking to settle things down right now. Under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. That ball knocked out of the hands of Bedminster. Possession will stay with the Hurricanes. Khalil Smith back into the game. How about Jesse Dalrymple? First shift of the game, and within the first 5 or 6 seconds, hits a corner three to make it a 2-point game. Here he is in the opposite corner now. Gets it over to Smith. Dawkins into the corner for Bedminster. Same spot that Dalrymple just hit from. But Bedminster can't get the bounce. Now it's Duel. Scrambly play across half court. Duel gets it back. Down low looking for Villain. Big foul there by Khalil Smith. As Villain was left wide open underneath. And he will go to the line to shoot two. 2:39 left. And Villain with an opportunity to double the lead here for the Tommies. Villain's second shot upcoming. And Villain calmly doubles the Tommies' lead. It's now a 4-point game. This is Dalrymple. Gets it to Smith. Bedminster with it again. 5 on the shot clock now. Bedminster wants someone to move. Now drives the lane, gets around a couple of players. Big block there by Villain. And they're calling it a shot clock violation. It could have been that or off of Bedminster and out of bounds. Whatever the case is, either way, it is St. Thomas ball. Marcus Wilson, 22 points already in this one. Looking for more here maybe, but passes it off to River Lands. Lands in tight. That's Gimby. Big block by Owen Parsons. St. Thomas maintains possession though. And it's Lands with a 3-point shot. And he's got 2 of those this afternoon. Opens up a 7-point lead. St. Thomas, again, still trying to pull away. They've led by as many as 10. Rossiter fakes the 3. Now he steps back for 3, and Spencer Rossiter, nothing but net. He's up to 17 points this afternoon. Just outside a minute left, as that was, I believe Rossiter got a hand in the passing lane. Either him or Khalil Smith. And Wilson will inbound it. Gets it to the corner for Duel. Duel steps around Dalrymple. Can't get the hoop to go. Now kicks it back out for Lands. Duel, lots of time, sets up for the 3 and gets it to go. Five 3-pointers now in the quarter between the two teams as Interesting call there. Bedminster called for the offensive foul. Certainly looked like Duel had his feet moving. It's Bedminster's 4th foul of the game. So he'll get subbed out in favor of Zach Dawkins, being in foul trouble now. I would expect we'll see Bedminster again in the 4th quarter. And it certainly looked like Duel's feet were moving, but Bedminster maybe initiating some contact with a bit of a stiff arm move. Schulten into the corner for Duel. Duel into the middle for Hansen. Hansen wants Eddie, now gives it to him. Kicks it back out for Schulten. Schulten gets around Rossiter. Can't get around Parsons or the underside of the backboard. Now it's Rossiter. He gets around Duel. Fadeaway shot. Can't get it to go. And it's Schulten out-muscling Parsons for the rebound. Duel over to Schulten. CJ Hansen, corner 3. Can't get it to go. And it's Khalil Smith battling with Eddie. And Eddie's going to get charged with a foul. I believe that's his 3rd of the game. And Bedminster, just like that, checks back in. So maybe with it being the last possession, Holland College wants to get a good ball distributor in Bedminster onto the court. 15.7 seconds left, so no shot clock. Hurricanes will have the last shot here in the quarter if they want to take it. Duel harassing Bedminster there. The 2 number 6s in a good battle. Dawkins almost lost the handle on it. Now there's only 3 seconds left. Loses the handle again. Dawkins gets the shot off the rim. And a scrambly end to the quarter. So Holland College unable to capitalize. And we leave off right where we left off at halftime, with St. Thomas nursing a 7-point lead, 60-53. Step aside for a minute and rejoin you momentarily for what should be a good 4th quarter of action coming up. And about 20 seconds away from the start of the 4th quarter here in Charlottetown, the hometown Hurricanes trailing by 7. 18 points by each team in that 3rd quarter, which is exactly how the 1st quarter also transpired. Again, St. Thomas 4-0 coming into this game, averaging well over 100 points per game. So well off that pace. It'll take a massive 4th quarter to match that pace, as Holland College has done decently well defensively. River lands, long-range 3. He's got 9 points in the game, all via the 3-pointer. does Riverlands. Opens up a 10-point lead, matching the largest lead that St. Thomas has had in this game. Holland College has led a couple of times by 2 points as Owen Parsons cuts into the lead and can complete the 3-point play here. Third foul assessed to Caleb Scholten in the game. And Parsons, nothing but net there. Jevin Eddy at the top of the 3-point line, gets it to Lands. Lands wanted to shoot, now miscommunication there with Hansen. Looked like he lost his sense of geography for a second. And it's a foul on CJ Hansen. I believe that's his third foul of the game. Not sure what the delay here is. In any case, we're going to get the action going again here, just under a minute into the fourth quarter. Seem to be stuck at a 7-point game here. That's Khalil Smith missing the shot. Parsons called for the foul. Looked like he was just going up for the rebound, but called for the foul. It's only his second of the game, excuse me. And once again, we're stuck at a 7-point margin. Marcus Wilson, 22 points, so already above his season average. Wonder if he'll add on to that here in the fourth quarter. Villain protects the ball, but knocked away from him. Good active hands there by the Hurricanes defensively. And Dawkins with the contested layup. He's up to 17 points in the game, so he's exceeded his season average. He was averaging 16 coming in. Wilson, long range three. And Marcus Wilson, he's starting to heat up from distance. Dawkins now, another good contested layup by Zach Dawkins. He's up to 19 in the game. Now here's Evan Villain with it. Villain, that's a contested layup for the veteran St. Thomas Tommy. Now we're going to get a timeout called by Holland College. St. Thomas now up 8. Again, Holland College hanging around here. They've caught up a couple of times, but have been unable to match St. Thomas. The Tommies have been unable to really pull away. Reminder again, more Holland College Hurricanes athletics action coming your way with women's and men's volleyball scheduled for 5 and 7 this evening. And we will return to basketball action here at the MCCE Friday, December 5th. Women at 6, men at 8, going up against Crandall. Again, St. Thomas has been without one of their offensive leaders, Vincent Littleton, for the balance of this game. He left early on. Looked like he had a bunch of tape and ice on his right hand. Be a big blow to the Tommies if that ends up being a long-term thing, but Foul called there on Marcus Wilson. Only his second foul of the game. Hurricanes with possession. Parsons can't get the pass over to Rossiter easily. Now he gets it to Nehemiah Arnold. Parsons for three. Owen Parsons off the back of the rim, and Owen Parsons, the Hurricanes' leading rebounder. When he takes those three-point shots, he's unfortunately not able to rebound. And the Tommies come away with it. That shot misses by Lands. Arnold looking for a little bit of space, dishes it to Rossiter. Contested three is well off the mark, looked well long. Coming up on 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Jevin Eddy steps up to the free throw line, can't get it to go. Good box out by Rossiter. There's Nehemiah Arnold, back to Rossiter, up top for Dawkins, three-point shot. And Zach Dawkins cutting into the lead once again. It's a 5-point game. Dawkins up to 22 points, matching Marcus Wilson's output now. Verlaine, jump shot from the corner of the key, doesn't go. Dawkins with a strong rebound there. Double teamed by a pair of Tommies, gets it to Khalil Smith, can't get the hoop to go. And they're going to say that's off Marcus Wilson and out. And substitutions on both sides. Bedminster inbounds. That's right off the leg of Jason Tomlinson and out. And St. Thomas quickly calling a timeout. Maybe looking to regroup themselves. They've seen their lead go from 10 right back down to 5. Again, they're clinging to that lead somewhere between 4 and 10 points for much of the game, unable to pull away beyond that. Again, just to roll you through the margins of victory so far for St. Thomas. Coming into this game 4-0, excuse me. They've won by 15 points, 26, 12, and 38. So we'll see if they are able to handle only being up 5 this late in the fourth quarter. And Holland College, meanwhile, looking to charge ahead and get back into the win column, and what would I think would be an early would be considered an early season upset here, coming into this at 1-3. Here's Wilson, again, the Tommies' leading scorer on the season and in the game, looking for a little space. Loses his footing, and it's taken away by Jason Tomlinson. Tomlinson gets around Schulten, draws the foul. Can't get the basket to go, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2. That is Caleb Schulten's 4th foul of the game, if my count is correct. It is Schulten's 4th foul, so Tomlinson to the line. And well off the mark on his first attempt. And Tomlinson wide left on the second attempt, so unable to capitalize on either of the free throw attempts and cut into the lead. We'll see if those 2 points end up being important later on. as it is a tight game. 5-point St. Thomas lead. Riverlands driving in, spins and shoots, gets the basket to go. Riverlands has 11 points off the bench for St. Thomas. Worth noting, only 3 of Holland College's points are bench points. And close to a travel there for Tomlinson. Ends up getting shot back for Khalil Smith. His first points of the game cuts the lead back down to 4. Schulten leaves it for Villain. Villain down low for Schulten. What a pass by Evan Villain. But Schulten can't get the layup to drop. And now it's Rossiter back quickly the other way, end to end. Picked up by Tomlinson this time. Jason Tomlinson gets the hoop and harm. And he'll go to the line for 1 to try and make this a 1-point game. Almost at the halfway mark of the fourth quarter. If Holland College can make this a 1-point game here. And Tomlinson struggles from the free-throw line. Continue for him. So it remains a 2-point game, but with the bonus in effect now for Holland College and lots of time left, that could be a big development for them in this game. But again, how big will those 3 missed free throws loom? Jevin Eddy for 3 off the front of the rim. Schulten gets the rebound, back for Wilson. Marcus Wilson off the back of the rim. Tomlinson collects the rebound for Holland College, so lucky to get out of that unscathed are the Hurricanes. Rossiter now directing traffic. Dawkins corner, long range 2, ties the game up as Zach Dawkins continues to pour it on here for the Hurricanes. Schulten leaves it for Wilson. Wilson down low for Eddy. Eddy goes up with it. And that's what size can do. Jevin Eddy, the big man down low. He's done a lot of good work down there so far today. Sitting at 11 points and can make it a 3-point game if he completes the 3-point play. We've seen a lot of those here this afternoon in both the women's and the men's games. And Jevin Eddy up to 12 points in the game. But more importantly, it's a 3-point St. Thomas lead. 4 minutes to go here in regulation, and it's about time I start using that phrase with the game being as tightly fought as it is. Dawkins, and it looks like, it looked like Riverlands got a hand on that. So possession will stay with Holland College. Big block there by Riverlands. .353 on the clock here in the fourth quarter. Bedminster inbounds to Parsons. Parsons trying to get position on Eddy. Eddy continues his strong game down low. Looks to drive in on Parsons, and the plant foot looked like it just came up as he was trying to get the pass off. Unforced error there for the Tommies. Every mistake reaches a different magnitude now in a 3-point game late in the fourth quarter. Rossiter takes the pass right back from Parsons. Nice give and go there. Nice feed down for Tomlinson, but he can't get the hoop to go. And I think that's on Marcus Wilson for head contact. What they're calling it. Wilson up to 4 fouls in the game now, so that could loom large here as well. It's had a quiet fourth quarter. Sitting at 25 points in the game is Marcus Wilson. But Jason Tomlinson, again, he's 0 for 4 now from the free throw line. Finally gets one to go. Makes it a 2-point game. And again, the bonus in effect in favor of the Hurricanes, so something to watch in the final minutes here. And Evan Villain draws a foul, going for the reverse layup. Owen Parsons doesn't like the call. Third foul on Parsons in the game. And Villain, fairly automatic from the free throw line here this afternoon. And the commentator's jinx gets him as he misses the second one. Keeps it at a 3-point game. Rossiter maybe trying to change that in one shot. Step back, long range 2 off the front of the rim. And Eddie will draw a foul on Khalil Smith. Fourth foul on the Hurricanes in the quarter, so one away from the bonus being out of their favor and being level and equal. Wilson for 3, off the mark. Rebound knocked away from Bedminster, but right to Rossiter. Now Dawkins goes up with an off-balance layup attempt. Somehow gets it to go. Cuts the lead back to 1. First bit of real adversity this Tommy's team has faced all season. How will they respond? Jevanetti spins and shoots, gets the roll. Friendly roll for Jevanetti there as he continues his strong fourth quarter in the paint. Parsons for 3, ties it up. Owen Parsons having a whale of a second half here. Knots this up at 76 with 2 minutes on the clock left in regulation. Eddie wants Villain down low. Now it's Riverlands from the corner of the key. Puts St. Thomas right back out in front. Riverlands with 10 second half points. But Zach Dawkins with 26 points in the game, keeping Holland College right there neck for neck with the, at this point in time, undefeated St. Thomas Tommies. .148 on the clock here in regulation time. Again, St. Tommy's have not been in a game where they haven't won by less than 12 points this season. We'll see how they respond to what has been an onslaught by Holland College here in the fourth quarter. They've clawed their way back several times, but so 148, clock will run now. 78-76, the Tommies lead. Dawkins takes the pass from Bedminster. Mentioned he's got 26 in the game. Goes up, misses the shot. Rebounded by Smith. He goes up with it, draws the foul. And he'll go to the line with a chance to tie it up on 2 free throws. And Smith, good on the first attempt. Chance to tie it on this shot. And nothing but net for Smith, and this game is tied right back up. Villain, and Evan Villain, time and time again, when St. Thomas needs something to happen, it's Evan Villain who's the catalyst. Rossiter now, watched by Villain. Dawkins now watched by Villain after the switch. Dawkins, quick release, short on the shot attempt. And with a minute left, St. Thomas takes possession, up by 2. Eddie leaves it for Wilson. Wilson steps into the key. Jump shot, Marcus Wilson. And the lead is now 4 for the visiting Tommies. Bedminster for Rossiter on the handoff. Rossiter gives it right back to Bedminster. Bedminster watched by Villain. Bedminster into the corner. And rims out there. Smith had the shot. Rebound bouncing around. Can't see who's got control. Now Villain has it. And they're going to call it a jump ball. Looked like Villain had the possession in his hands. I haven't seen a signal as to who's going to have the ball, and our vantage point directly above the scorer's table. I don't know who has the possession arrow right now, so stay tuned to see who will have possession. With the shot clock's reading 14, that would indicate that possession will go to Holland College. Again, down 4. They're 22.6 seconds on the clock, so the Hurricanes need a quick score, a quick stop, and then another score to either tie or take the lead. Very late here in the fourth quarter. Again, my guess is that possession is going to be with Holland College coming out of the timeout in the offensive zone. And it is going to be a Hurricane possession. Smith, Bedminster, Parsons, Rossiter, and Dawkins are the 5 Hurricanes on the court. 5 players who have the ability to shoot threes, so we'll see if that's the strategy for the Hurricanes coming out of the timeout. Again, about a 9-second difference between shot clock and game clock. And that'll work for the Hurricanes as they draw the foul. Khalil Smith will go to the line to shoot 2. Was 2 for 2 his last time up. Again, chance to cut into this deficit here. Smith, nothing but net. And can't get the second one, so the Hurricanes needing a stop, and they will draw a foul as now Dawkins and Villain exchanging words underneath the net. The officials quick to try to get into the middle of that one. The foul is assessed to Dawkins. It's the 5th foul of the quarter, I believe, on Holland College, so the bonus should be in effect. 19 seconds left in the game. Haven't seen any indication from the officials if the Tommies will get a free throw opportunity coming out of the timeout. And it seems like that is going to be the conclusion that the officials come to as they're walking the ball down to the St. Thomas end. So looks like it'll be 2 shots. I believe it'll be Evan Villain at the line as well. So Villain will have a chance to extend the lead here and maybe put it out of reach with 19 seconds on the clock. And it's currently a 3-point Tommy's lead. And Villain short on the first attempt. Makes good on the second attempt, so it's a should be a Rossiter in the corner with it, loses his footing, and just on the end line. Was going to say it should be a 4-point Tommy's lead, and it is. They're saying Rossiter got possession of the ball, but was on the end line or the sideline, right in the corner. The home crowd is not happy with that. And Dawkins will take a quick foul there to stop the clock. So 11.1 seconds left. Marcus Wilson at the line to shoot 2. Looking to extend this 4-point lead. He's short on the first attempt. And Wilson makes it a 5-point Tommy's lead. Perhaps too much for Holland to overcome in only 11 seconds. Tomlinson inbounds to Dawkins. Dawkins looked like he almost lost his balance. Kicks it all the way over to Parsons. Up top, Bedminster, long 3. Gets the 3 to go to cut the deficit. And with 2.9 seconds left, that was a long 3 by Darrell Bedminster. 2.9 seconds on the clock. Final timeout called by St. Thomas. So if you're Holland College now, maybe you take a quick foul on the inbound to keep the clock stopped. You hope that St. Thomas misses one or both of their free throw attempts and then look to do what you just did with Darrell Bedminster, which is hit a long-range 3. Depending on the outcome of the free throws, likely upcoming by St. Thomas, to either tie or win. They've added half a second back onto the clock. So 3.4, so not insignificant in the grand scheme of things here for Holland College, but again, they missed, I think it was 4 free throw attempts throughout this fourth quarter that could have this game looking very different had they made those. St. Thomas will have the ball in the offensive court. Jevin Eddy looks like he might be the inbound player. Again, I would anticipate a quick foul by the Hurricanes. Maybe even one before the inbound. And they do indeed foul Marcus Wilson. 2.1 seconds on the clock now. Wilson at the line for 2. And that is Bedminster's 5th foul of the game. Unfortunate for the Hurricanes there, but Marcus Wilson, again, you got to think if he makes both of these, that will be the game. Nothing but net for the Tommies' leading scorer, as they will choose to set up defensively. Hurricanes hoping for a miss here. And Wilson with a dagger. It's a 4-point game with 2.1 seconds left. Dawkins puts up a long-range 3-point shot that falls short. And St. Thomas survives a scare from the Hurricanes, but remain unscathed as they improve to 5-0 on the season. Holland College will drop to 1-4, but definitely an encouraging effort from the Hurricanes here in their home opener, taking the top team in the league to the last few seconds, the last few possessions. Again, stay tuned later on this evening, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, women's and men's volleyball action here on the campus of Holland College in downtown Charlottetown. And then we will rejoin you for more basketball coverage on Friday, December 5th against Crandall. Game times will be 6 and 8 for the women and men, respectively. Thank you for spending some of your Saturday afternoon with us. We hope you enjoyed the action. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Hurricanes TV.